Yeah, I will. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Change Starts With Us. We're here with David Dull. Hi, David.
Hi, how you doing?
Okay, share a little bit about what's on your heart today, as you do about every 2 weeks.
Well, what's really on my heart lately is that we really haven't seen any more progress concerning changes to the parole board. In June, as you know, the director Smith released a memo to all the offenders within Ohio prisons talking about coming changes that she was going to make into the Ohio parole board, including recommendations from NPRC, changes to policies and administrative rules and things like that. And unfortunately, that kind of has stalled out. So that's really been on my heart lately. Just really, guys are starting to give up hope again. They're not seeing those changes, and it just seems like they just kind of put a Band-Aid on the bullet wound, and then we haven't seen any progress since then.
FTR did change the name to, I think it's Epic.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
FTR did change the name, and they're going to go full force when the legislators come back to find a sponsor. So I'm sure they will keep you guys posted, and our group will be working towards educating society on the system.
Yeah. Something else is on my heart today. Thinking about the parole board and thinking about what's been done over the past 25 and 30 years. And it came as a surprise to me that you think about parole and you think about what's happened to guys receiving 8 and 10-year flops, and how in our eyes and how outrageous that can be. As you know, I received 8 years at the parole board back in 2016, despite a very good record in rehabilitative efforts and education and employment opportunities, housing, and everything. It just struck me as that society itself really is not educated about what's happening in Ohio prisons, and how they're not really educated about the parole board, and how the only way that change is going to happen is for people to stop accepting it and to become irate, to realize how outrageous it is when their loved one receives 10 more years, basically being resentenced by Ohio's parole board. I got to really thinking about that today, and what struck me is that it's become such a norm that people have almost become desensitized to it. And the only way we're going to see change is, like I said, for people to really realize what's happening and to really let their voice be heard on it.
Yeah, that's very true. We're getting a lot of calls on basically the same stuff you're talking about today. So.
Yeah. A lot of guys, as I said from our last phone call, a lot of things have changed. We're seeing more people get paroles, but when Shirley Smith came out as an ex-senator, former senator in Ohio, when she sat on the parole board and she became a whistleblower against Ohio's parole board, talking about the activities that they were doing, the hidden policies and rules that they were practicing, and when those things came out and she spoke to the newspapers, and when nothing was done in legislation, I think that speaks volumes about the problems in Ohio. If anything else, liberty, I think, is one of the most important things as far as our freedoms. And again, I think it's just as a society we become desensitized because, we're talking about criminals. And, they receive more time in prison, boo-hoo. But and I think that just speaks a lot about, unconstitutionally, without a judicial process at all, just giving a man 10 more years in prison, and that's not all. And then they're making him see them again after 10 years, and maybe receiving another 10 years, as we've seen. I had a buddy, Johnny Harvey, that just came and gave his lead at an AA meeting here. He served 32 years in prison, and 32 years of that, he did 18 years in parole board flops. I just find that absolutely remarkable that, that people are receiving more time at the parole board than originally was given to them by the sentencing court. And again, it angers me, and I think it's a righteous anger, but it definitely angers me, and it needs to anger people. And people do need to become irate, and they do need to be contacting their legislators and their senators and things like that, and telling them how that makes them feel.
I even think that taxpayers should notify them too that they had to pay for people that should have been home.
Absolutely. And again, like I spoke again 2 weeks ago, I released an article about the cost of incarcerating an individual just 1 year past his parole eligibility date of $30,000 to $35,000, and the parole board is costing Ohio taxpayers. This is no fiction. This is not made up. It's at least $200 million a year in additional budget that Ohio's parole board is costing Ohio's taxpayers because of the parole eligible inmates that are incarcerated that receive flops. Receive continuances. That's $200 million a year. And additional budgets to DRC.
A lot of money.
To help those individuals.
Lots of money.
Lots of money. And that's not counting, of course, the suffering to families. And again, like I said last time, I don't discount or take away from the impact to victims and how they feel. But those things, and I say carefully with a but those things were considered in sentencing. And when an individual is sentenced and he believes that he's going to be given a parole opportunity his first time seeing the parole board.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Sentencing, and the victim has the opportunity to speak in regards to the sentence that man or woman receives. I think it's just it's come to the point of almost being outrageous and unbelievable. And the only way that it's happening is because, for the majority, the public is completely unaware of Ohio's parole board, just as they're unaware of what happens inside of Ohio prisons.
Very true. Well, how long have you served so far, David?
Well, as of September 25th, I had 26 years of incarceration. I was arrested 2 months after my 18th birthday.
Right.
I received a sentence of 23 to life, and then at 23 years, I saw the parole board and received an 8-year continuance.
And you have a great support team in your mother. I got to know you a little bit up at Marion, but I got to know your mother from some of the legislative days and protests, and she's never going to quit fighting.
Yeah. And I wish there was a 10,000 like my mother.
Me too, brother.
If we just had, I hate to say that, but if we just had 100 like my mother, there would be change.
There sure would be.
Sorry, James, what'd you say?
I said it sure would be. That's the only way change is going to be is if people don't give up and they're willing to network and show up to events. If it's ours or the new group Epic, I think that's what FTR is going to be called. People just need to show up.
Yeah, and again, it's not about just showing up. It's about contacting other legislators. They have to, and having an attitude of not accepting no for an answer, not being placated with false information. becoming educated, knowing the statistics, knowing what's going on, like you said, becoming educated by you and by other people that are proactive and getting these things changed, and then contacting those individuals and not taking no for an answer. I think that's the most important thing, that not taking no for an answer and being able to tell those senators, hey, this is what's going on. We know what's going on. Now we want you to change this, and we want you to support this. You know, one thing that the stop parole or people that are against paroles have done very well is they get out into the media and they use emotions and they use scare tactics to keep individuals incarcerated.
True.
You know, that's one thing that they have done very, very well. And it's time that people that want their loved ones home, they have to let their voice be heard. And they have to speak the truth. You know, and until that's done, those are the individuals that are waiting parole. Those are the individuals that have been locked up for decades. They have very, very little of a voice. In fact, the only voice that they have are the few that are doing the work now, such as yourself and FTRR and some other organizations. It's unfortunate. Those organizations don't have the support and don't have the volunteers that are needed to get down to Columbus and to contact their senators and their state legislators. It's just not there, you know.
No, and we understand some of the population is getting to be older, but maybe they could do emails, send letters, and make phone calls from their house. That's just as good sometimes.
Absolutely.
So, you know, we just have to grasp onto people and get them together. May 15th, our organization is holding a network meeting that we're inviting all the groups together from Ohio and people.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
We're trying to get people all throughout the state of Ohio to attend a meeting on February 15th at the United Methodist Church in Columbus, Ohio, so that we can start networking together.
Yeah, and the different organizations. I think all of the organizations have very good ideas, and it is my hope that they will come together, support one another. You know, they're going to have differences in how things should be done, but they all pretty much have the same goal. They want to see prison reform, and they want to see parole board reform, and they want to see reentry reform. Guys they're coming home from prison, they want to see them have the resources that are available to them to be able to return to society and not return to prison.
That's true.
That is good for everybody, you know.
Yep. And the inmate population, there's a lot that they can do too, because they can send letters as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, contacting your legislators, letting them know that you want these actions by the parole board to stop, that you want to see changes in the law and in the policies. But I think another important thing that wasn't mentioned last week was contacting DRC's director, contacting her and asking her to change those policies and procedures that are happening. So far, she has done a little, but those promises that she made in June have not been carried out yet. We haven't seen those policy changes. We haven't seen those administrative rules changed. Parole rates have gone up, yes, but again, they haven't gone up substantially, and guys are still receiving 10-year continuances at the parole board. Like, if you just think about that one individual, let's just think about that one individual that received a 10-year flop. That's over $300,000 on our taxpayers. And statistically, we know that does not keep society safer. We know that. Because those individuals that are parole eligible are parole eligible for a reason. If the judge or the jury thought that individual was going to be a risk to society for the remainder of his life, that individual would have gotten life without parole. Or the death penalty, for example. So, we're talking about parole-eligible individuals that have been locked up 20, 30, 40 years that are just not the same individuals that they were when they were 18 or 20 years old. They have done the work. They have done the programs. They have done the schooling. They have done the soul-searching and change that is required to make them value members of society again. And it's just remarkable to me that they're still judged by the actions that they were as a teenager. It just kind of blows me away, really.
It is sad, but I mean, I see.
And as far as Ohio is concerned, we have a lot of catching up to do. It's not just about parole at this point. We look at states like California that have passed youthful offender laws that recognize the science of criminal thinking about cognitive intelligence of a teenager, and they pass laws that deal with those things. They know that an individual that's 18 years old is, they know the science, and they recognize that, and they pass laws for youthful offenders, recognizing those things, and they pass other laws that Ohio, I think, really should take a look at as far as co-defendant culpability as well. And we talked about that briefly a couple weeks ago. They recently passed a law that said, only one person in the crime can be charged with the murder, the person that actually did the murder. And, how many people do we know personally in Ohio prisons that were there during a robbery, that were sitting out in the car or something like that, and are doing 20, 30, and 40 years, sometimes more than the actual person that committed the murder in the case. We see that all the time. Now, California recently passed a law where they said that they're not going to.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
As a result, they released I forget how many, 2,500 individuals because of that law. So these things are happening in other states, and these things can happen in Ohio. But it just takes people to contact their legislators and say, hey, this is what we want to see happen, or this makes sense. So.
That's well said, David. You're our monthly reporter. So I mean, you're really.
Do we have any comments or questions?
Not as of yet. I have you on podcast and YouTube. I did start a new page up today. We're going to see how long that lasts. But I'm going to share this video all over Twitter, LinkedIn.
You have 1 minute remaining.
It's going to be shared on all social media accounts.
Okay.
You want to call back? Or
Sure.
Okay. Give us a call back so we can continue this call, David. Okay.
I'll go right back.
Okay, brother.
Bye-bye.
I have known David for some time. I was at Marion Correctional. He worked up in PNN. I did one of the tapings at PNN for the handicapped. I had a lot of fun up there, but I've seen so many other guys up there go to the hole for whatever reasons. Then David ended up going to Mansfield, Richland, and that's where he is today. He's a gentleman that should have been home many years ago. Same with my friend John Peters. My friend Candace Rhodes' husband should not even be in prison. He's not guilty. Neither is John Peters. He's not guilty neither of his crime, what he was convicted of. There's just so many people that really should be released.
Hello. This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using GTL.
Okay, David. You there?
Yeah.
Okay. It's all yours.
All right. So again, we mentioned how to get involved, what difference you can make, and I think for a lot of people, it's one of those hopeless situations. They feel that they don't know what they can do, that it's above them, and it's just the way it is. And again, the only way things are going to change is for not only incarcerated individuals, because it's partly our fault as well, but it's also the families of those individuals and the friends of those individuals to become educated and to contact, again, the legislators in Columbus, and also the administrators in the prison system, including the Adult Parole Authority. That is the only way that change is going to take effect. That's the only way it's going to happen.
I agree with you on that. Well,
Again, it is an uphill battle.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Do have legislators and senators and things like that that know there's a problem. They'll admit to you freely if you speak to them face to face that there's a problem. But politically, we know that some people have said it is political suicide to support such a thing as being viewed as soft on crime.
right.
And it's not being soft on crime. It's looking at the data, looking at science, and being smart on crime.
Right.
And how do we deal with this incarceration epidemic that is not only in Ohio, but that's in the United States? And, again, some states are finally getting it, and the trend is shifting. But I just pray that it shifts in Ohio as well.
Did you know Ohio is the 6th worst prison system in the United States?
Yeah, I do. Unfortunately. I mean, for our incarceration rates, I'm not sure what the statistics are lately, but I know that we're close to 50,000 incarcerated individuals in Ohio.
53,000.
Yeah, and for our population, that's kind of ridiculous.
We should be at 30,000.
Yeah. And we know this as well as anybody. It's about the money. It's about industry. It's about employment. And it's about supporting the industries that now are involved in the prison industry, including a lot of people don't know, but that our food services become privatized. They're trying to eventually privatize our medical. So the cheapest contractor now is bidding for these services. And unfortunately, they report to the people that invest in those companies. And the problem is that the services offered then are bare minimum. And we see that from the food quality and the prisons. We see that from the medical care that we get here in prisons. So, it's become big industry. And when it becomes big industry, it's no longer about rehabilitation. It's strictly about how can we warehouse these individuals as cheaply as possible and still meet the minimum guidelines that our legislations or our policies require. And it's kind of remarkable because not only are the services minimum, but the people that are in charge of inspecting those services are also privatized and supported. So, for example, me and you both have heard of ACA audits and what that means. Each prison in Ohio is supposed to have an audit. I think it's every 2 years by the ACA to be accredited, saying that they meet the minimum requirements in quality and food service and medical care and safety and all those things. Well, that very committee or that very governing body that does that, they're so to speak, in bed with those industries and with DRC itself. So we're just seeing people that support the bare minimum in place. So we don't see any change. We see the same problems arise again and again. And only when something tragic happens, or only when a whistleblower comes forward, do we see change ever happen? Kind of like what happened with Shirley Smith. You know, our families, our friends that see the quality, that see the actions of the parole board, or see the injustices that happen in these places. A lot of times, you know, they have contacted the administrators, they have contacted the legislators, and their voices are ignored.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
So it's only when people come forward with a loud enough voice, like the Shirley Smiths and the other people, do we actually see the changes happening in our prison systems. And unfortunately, as you and I well know too, a lot of those changes only happen as a result of lawsuits. And no lawsuits against our medical, lawsuits against food service, lawsuits against administration. And a lot of times those doors are slammed in our face in the legal system because of the hurdles and obstacles that they place in the way of prisoners who file lawsuits. And that took place back in the 90s. So, but again, you know, we can't do nothing. The only way we're going to see change is to do what Rhonda Head did, for example, to sue the parole board, to do what Fussell did, to sue DRC concerning medical. We have to let our voices be heard. And that's the only way we're going to see change.
Yeah, you know, and nothing's going to change, I don't see, until we actually get law to change.
Yeah, I mean, it's good enough for it's placating us to have parole rates go up.
Right.
You know, but when we're talking about 5% parole rates 2 years ago, people should be absolutely irate about that.
Right.
You know, 5%. You're telling me that the courts got it wrong 95% of the time.
Right.
When you're only allowing 5% parole rates. And we're not, and it's probably even lesser than that, because those individual 5% that did get a parole had probably seen the parole board 6 to 7 times. So again, 5% parole rates. It just boggles my mind.
Yeah.
That was allowed to happen.
Yeah.
We allowed the Columbus Plain that far over to get down to 5% parole rates, and still, there was nothing changing, nothing happening until Shirley Smith came forward and spoke against the parole board. If she wouldn't have come forward and spoke against the parole board, we would still be seeing 5% parole rates.
I don't think it went up at all myself.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably double that now. I don't know the statistics. I can tell you that a lot of guys have received parole. But those individuals, honestly, they've served their time. They've done 5, 10, 15 years past their minimum parole eligibility dates. So you're not doing them a favor. They should have been paroled a long time ago.
Right.
But what else boggles my mind is, again, Shirley Smith came forward. Now we have all those individuals that received 5, 10-year continuances by the parole board, and they haven't called those individuals back up. They know that there was wrongdoing by the parole board. They know that there was misconduct during those times. They know all those things. And instead of doing the right thing and stopping all parole all those years, instead of rehearing those, they haven't done that. They just figure, we'll just concede them, 5 or 8 years down the road, even though we know.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
We know that they were given, wrongful continuances. Well, the right thing, the common sense thing would be to say, hey, we know we have a problem. Let's fix this problem. Let's stop parole over decisions right now. Fix the problem. Reevaluate those offenders that received continuances and start from there. But they haven't done that. They continue to allow those individuals that receive that time to stay in prison and wait until 5 or 10 years down the road to see the parole board once again. And guess what? If the administration has changed and they want to take a harder role as far as people say getting paroles, which has happened in the past, then they miss that window then. Those individuals miss that window, and they're likely to receive even more time at the parole board again.
Which is a death sentence for some.
Have a chance to go home.
It's a death sentence for some.
Absolutely. Absolutely, it's a death sentence.
Well,
And again, I can't stress this enough. These are parole-eligible offenders. These are not offenders that receive life without parole. These are not offenders who were on death row and received a life sentence or anything like that. These are individuals where the court said, you know what, you've committed a crime, we're going to sentence you to this time, and you're going to be parole eligible, after serving 10 or 15 or 20 years.
that's true. Hey, why don't you take this time to fire people up so we can get them motivated to help?
Okay. So I guess I would say this to everybody. We need your help. This issue affects everybody. There are thousands of prisoners like myself that remain in DRCs. Prisons who have been denied parole by House Parole Board were serving 10 to 15, 20 years longer in prison, sometimes more, sometimes for the remainder of our lives, because Ohio's parole board practices have been kept a secret for so long. It has become the norm for 10-year continuances, for 20-year continuances, for people to die in prison only because it has been allowed to happen. That is it. We have very little voice, and we need people's help. But the only way that we're going to be able to affect change is for people to speak against these practices and to not take no for an answer. The only way we're going to see change is for people to get educated. And to, again, please contact your legislators. Please contact the Ohio Parole Board. Please write editorials. Please contact your newspapers and ask if this is true. Because nothing I say today, right now, is false. This is happening, and this has happened gradually worse and worse since I've been incarcerated in the 90s, ever since the changing of the law in 1996.
And it's not going to change until laws change.
Absolutely. It's well enough, like I said, that our director is making minor changes, but nothing is going to be concrete until the law is changed that says that we have a right to a parole if we do what is asked by the sentencing court of us. If we rehabilitate ourselves, if we come to prison and show good conduct, if we show rehabilitative efforts, if we go to school, if we show remorse, if we're employable and we have good housing, there is no reason that a parole eligible inmate should be kept in prison at the cost of Ohio's taxpayers. So I just beg everyone who's listening to please get involved. Please get educated.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Can you give your contact information as well?
For us in here.
Yeah, give your contact information as well.
Okay, so my name is David Dahl, D-U-L-L. My number is 291-601. I currently reside at Riverside Correctional Institution, P.O. Box 8107, Mansfield, Ohio 44902.
They could JPay you as well, correct?
Absolutely. And they can go to jpay.com, set up an account, and contact me online. And I'm more than willing to talk with people, to meet with people, to discuss this matter. I don't look at DRC as my enemy. I do not look at Ohio's parole board as my enemy. I just simply want to see change. Positive change that's fair, positive that is going to affect rehabilitation in a positive way. I understand that Ohio Parole Board has a hard job to do. But everyone realizes, anyone that has any common sense realizes that this has gone on for too long. And it needs to be reformed to be fair and just for the individuals that are incarcerated, for victims, and for Ohio citizens as a whole.
I agree with you 100% there, David. You know, I would like to get you on at least twice a month. Next time, I think it's going to be a total podcast only, because that goes throughout other countries as well. But what I like about the YouTube, I'm really gaining more support on YouTube than ever.
Yeah.
You know, people are liking our channel. And if anybody wants to view it, all they have to do is look up James Cronenberger and subscribe to it. And we have all the videos on there. You could also look at the ones under Fair Treatment Reform. I started that about 4 or 5 years ago. I started that when I was with Amy Wicks' group before she died. So it's been around a while. But I want to get this video out.
You should applaud it.
Huh?
You're a warrior for this cause. Many of our viewers may not know, but James is a formerly incarcerated individual who got out and stayed out of prison. And, you know, if more people got out of prison and joined this cause, we would also see a change happen. But so often, you know, they get on, they go home, and they get on with their lives, and then, you know, that's their right to do so. But James, no matter what, I applaud you and thank you, because even in the face of great opposition, through many years of an uphill battle, you've stayed the course and have a great bill that's been proposed.
You have 1 minute remaining.
And hopefully we get sponsored.
I think we will too. That would be Fair Treatment Reform. I left them to organize this group, but we're going to support it 100%.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, David.
All right.
Okay.
Talk to you again.
But that's David Dahl. Like I was saying, that I've known for many years, starting at Marion Correctional when I was a resident at Marion Correctional. What I like about Marion, under 3 wardens, Christine Money, Maggie Beetler, and Jason Bunning, it was the best institution, if there's such a thing, in the state of Ohio. I only saw like 1 fight in the 10 years I was at Marion. You never really had that many problems because the wardens knew how to handle it, and they were an inmate warden. They respected everybody. Now, with what I'm seeing there, it's one of the worst camps in Ohio, and that's nothing to be proud of. Look at all the riot outs from Marion and the fights that they're having now compared to several years ago. You know, but folks, let's get going on fighting the pro board. Without you, we don't have a chance. I'm James Cronenberg with Change Starts With Us. On to our next episode, folks. We're through for the night.